Now's the time to kick back in front of the fireplace or campfire or whatever, you know, tell a few Bill and Monica jokes and sit back and wait and watch what they do, because until you know what they do, you don't know how to react. And if somebody goes off and does something stupid, it's going to ruin it for the whole country.
And if you haven't gotten your supply of potassium iodine, I think that's the correct technical term. I've got several bottles of it. That's what they issue the military, and they used to issue people in this country with civil defense in case of Russian nuclear attack. Definitely is the time now to get that. But I know this. The Russians have been threatening to nuke us publicly to their people, hyping them up against us, deploying their missiles against us, saying they reserve the right to strike first. Clinton then responds, well, we will not strike until we've already been hit. We will not survive a total all-out first strike.
No, I don't think so. If we do, it'll be very, very few.
Well, I'm sitting right here in Austin, the middle of a major city center. You could say bye-bye to Alex Jones if we get hit. This is the Silicon Hills of Texas. He's president. He's over the Duma, the Kremlin, the whole 9 yards. Toll-free number. Are you having power outages in your area? Are you experiencing troubles? Are you out of gasoline? Are you out of water in your grocery stores like we are by and large here in Austin, Texas? Power in Fresno is off in the downtown city area where we have a microwave relay tower hooked into to the huge server that runs our systems. And one of the worst developments on top of Russia threatening to nuke us now and their new militarized posture with China against us, and both their presidents threatening us, President Boris Yeltsin resigned at 4 o'clock Central Standard Time this morning, and Vladimir Putin, known as Vladimir the Ruthless, stepped into the reins of power.
The Russians for the past 10 years have been building bunkers and supposedly...
Well, it was in the New York Times last year that they're building the biggest bunker known to man in the Ural Mountains.
Right.
I believe that's the mountain chain.
Supposedly they can accommodate their entire population. Now, I don't know if that's...
Well, I know this.
Sir.
Back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, they were building bunkers for Americans. They were storing them with food. They were training children against the threat that was created by the bankers. And in the last 20 years or so, 30 years, they stopped the education of people in the public schools and the private schools. And now, your designated nuclear fallout shelter in any major city, you can see the signs if you look carefully enough. There'll be like a small, about 10 inches long, 8 inches tall, little sign that'll say nuclear fallout shelter will be a parking garage, so they can move in later and pull out all the rotten skeletons after they emerge from the Switzerland, where they have total gun rights and incredibly low crime. I guess the elite likes a home for themselves that's safe. They have giant underground bases stocked for 2 years with recreation courts and the whole 9 yards deep underground for the entire population. Here it is right here. I've got 50 articles. Let me read it to you. It's Pennsylvania nuclear plant shut down, the Associated Press, Friday, December 31st. It's up on my website, Infowars.com. My site's up, isn't it?
I don't know.
I'm a little bit paranoid right now. The Associated Press, Friday, December 31st, 1999, 7:22 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the first to break the story. One of the 2 nuclear reactors at PECO's Energy Co's Limerick Generating Station was shut down this morning after a piece of equipment failed. Company spokesman, big Y2K rollover. We've got nuclear power plant problems in PA, shutdowns. We had power outages out in Fresno, California that knocked our internet off for about 4 hours. That's back up.
Hi, Alex. I've just been listening to your show, and I've got a few questions about what you've been talking about today. What's with this Russia threatening to nuke us?
Oh, my gosh. Are you online? Do you have a computer?
No, I'm not online. I've been listening to you.
Well, I mean, I could go pull them off in my archives, even in my main page, in subpages, more news sections. There are literally, I mean, every week I've been reading 2 or 3 articles where Jiang Zemin in China is threatening to nuke us. Yeltsin has been threatening to nuke us every week until he resigned at 4 o'clock Central Time this morning. They've deployed their Topolin missiles 2.5 weeks ago against us, long-range, 6,200-mile intercontinental ballistics, the newest design, with U.S. clone technology. You've got the head of their missile systems, their top general, threatening to nuke us, saying he reserves first strike authority for absolutely no reason to attack us.
It was also reported a local person caught it on CNN.
A power plant has been blown up.
In Oregon.
Okay, we need to get CNN on. I'm sure at the studios at GCN, they're checking that out. Boy, Clinton's pulled it. Oh, man, if this has happened.
But that's the report that I got, and 2 other people on local repeaters verified it. So I thought
that's Oregon, and they're going to say that one of bin Laden's terrorists slipped through. I've been stating for years, bin Laden is a known CIA asset. That's public record. But I firmly side on the fact that we need to go ahead and just report the truth. But if it creates a panic, it does. Should have warned people earlier.
And I just heard on the way home an interview on a San Francisco radio station from a power official from the Northeast, and what he said happened was that somebody loosened a guide wire on a power pole, and it fell over, and I guess only momentarily interrupted power. The computer switched it to an alternate route.
And they know that someone loosened it. That's why it fell off. Yes.
That's what they said.
A terrorist knocked the power line down. We've got Yeltsin has resigned. The KGB chief, Vladimir Putin, the Ruthless as he's known, has taken full command of Russia. Now the figurehead puppet that couldn't even talk or stand has been removed. And Putin is running around enjoying himself, sitting on top of that captive population. Flipping around, and they weren't really giving us any news about the mass Y2K problems that are being reported across the globe that are being covered up in mainstream media and relegated to the back pages of the news wires. But I'm flipping around, and on PBS here locally in town, I don't know if it's on in other areas around the country, but on public broadcasting, the elite likes to see their garbage. They were going, we worship the sun, we worship Antibeast. I mean, this is out of control. 2 nights ago, Wednesday night on Fox News, they showed the old airport, Robert Mueller, right in the middle of town. You used to live in Austin. Michael, you know how big it is. They shut this thing down 3 months ago, even though the new airport wasn't done, wasn't completed. And they go, here are the new hangars and detainment facilities for any troublemakers during the new millennium, rioters or kooks or terrorists. And they show these barbed wire fences, chain link fences inside of the hangars, Michael, and shackles on the ground, concreted into the ground, like something out of a slave galley or something that you would see 3,000 years ago. Well, Michael, we've seen major procrastination. I think what we said is being borne out to be true. In fact, this morning I'm listening to ABC News at about 6 driving, and suddenly I hear them report that, now I'm losing my mind. What's the big island? New Zealand off the coast of Australia.
Right.
They were first to be hit. They had their power out for hours. In some areas, just a few minutes. In others, the power's been going off intermittently in South Austin for the last 2 weeks here in central Texas. And then the big news. That's right, in Pennsylvania, a nuclear power plant shut down. They shut down at 2:55 in the morning.
I didn't hear that.
Last night, and they're saying it's not Y2K related. But
no, of course not. It's something else, I'm sure.
Yeah, a plant might shut down every 10 years in this country. And this Vladimir Putin is known by the Russian people.
Oh, man, now we're in trouble with Vladimir at the helm. Here's the guy who said when we were starting to rattle, I guess, our own sabers over here, talking about what they were doing over in Grozny, and he said, and I quote, "You better back down or we'll just nuke you."
Yeah, hey. He also said about Chechnya, well, I can't use those words on the radio, even though it's from AFP, AP, UPI, and ITAR TASS. That's the Russian news agency. Well, I'm sitting here reading the Associated Press report about how they turned the plant off, but it has nothing to do with Y2K. They're just shutting plants down, and power's off in many different areas across the country. In fact, I've confirmed that a lot of different cable systems aren't working, and satellites are down.
Here's one for you guys wondering, you poo-pooers, you naysayers about Y2K. Here you go.
Japan.
Minor fault struck 2 nuclear power plants in Japan just seconds after the clock ticked into 2000 on Saturday, officials said. Government and company officials launched investigations into whether the glitches were related to the Millennium Bug. Most likely not. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, right? Winky, winky. Huh? What are you going to do, huh?
Everything's winky, winky.
I'll tell you what it really boils down to, folks. You got to give it about a week to find out what's really going on with this Y2K. You'll get little bits and pieces here and there. And
then a month from now, we'll really know what the scope was.
I would just like to say to anyone that lives inside of a nuclear power plant, pack up and go somewhere else for the weekend.
I mean, incredible things are happening. The store shelves are bare in Austin, Texas, have been for, well, ever since yesterday at least. I haven't been in the store in a few days. Gas is running out. They're announcing on Fox News if you're bad, they're going to put you in a, they're going to bolt you